These are some casual games that were played at the Portland Game Store in Portland, Oregon. At the top of the screen is Steve, and the bottom of the screen is Stu. Both of these guys testing out some kind of themed decks for a tournament series that Steve was holding at Portland Game Store called the Trials of Spring. So the Trials of Spring were a series of tournaments, and each tournament had like a thematic list of avatars that you had to use for each tournament. So the first one was Might, and it had things like Battle Mage, Blade Dancer, Avatar of Earth, those types of avatars to choose from. And the one that they were testing for here, I think it was the second in the series, the Trials of the Mystic, I think is what they called it. So like kind of like mystical themed avatars, like Animist and Elementalist. Stu playing actually a pretty strong deck is what he figured out. I think later he figured out that this is very, very similar to a deck that Duo created for Elementalist and put out, and it's just like an Elementalist ramp deck. Stu, I think, calls it like his Elementalist no threshold sights deck, because he's relying on the Elementalist to get all of his single thresholds, and then I don't think he has any. He might not have any sights in there that give him additional thresholds that he needs, or that he doesn't really need any thresholds from sights. So every spell he plays, I think more or less, is probably coming in at like a single threshold per element, and he's just taking advantage of being able to ramp things out with plays like that turn 1 Ghost Town that he had, which gives him 2 mana for that turn, and then being able to play things like Bottomless Pit to create problems for his opponent to get to him. Steve finding a way around the Bottomless Pit pretty early though here with looks like a Summoning Sphere. Like a Summoning Sphere, but it's early on here. I don't think he has a follow-up for that. Animist, Steve's deck, I think it was mono air, and he was running like a Spirits package as well. I'm a little surprised he's also running with a Summoning Sphere in addition to what I assume to be Evil Presences. He's paying 2 for a Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt, random roll, targets the Leprechaun. So that'll remove that threat and give Stu the Death Right to draw his sight. I don't know if that was the best play by Steve. I think what I have observed with Steve is that sometimes he will prioritize being mana efficient over holding his cards for a better tactical situation. And that's not always the case. But I think it can happen sometimes. Like you get to that turn 2 and you don't want to waste your mana, and you want to play a card just so you're being efficient. And then you end up making like a suboptimal play. Like you do that. You see that a lot when you're playing like an aggro decks where you want to get your turn 2 drop, but you're in bad site placement, and it would be better just to hold it. It's like it doesn't make sense to play a turn 2 Violamp when you don't have a target, for example. It's better. It is better to hold it and get more of that value when it is time to play the card. A turn 3 Feast for Feast for Crows from Steve here, and he really has no idea what's in Stu's deck, so he's just gonna guess. He's going to guess Dapperel Vampire, which is a good guess here. Playing Elementalists, it makes sense to put those in. It's such a strong card, and it only has one threshold, one air threshold requirement. It looks like he does have a couple 2 threshold pieces in that deck. Right? I think Root Spider. I think Root Spider's 2 Earth. So he does get a full 3 vampires banished from Feast for Crows. Feels like a decent Feast for Crows play here to me, and he is now in position to be able to at least attack into the town and get around the Bottomless Pit. He's playing a second. Summoning Sphere. The placement on that is a little dangerous. Again, I'm not quite sure why Steve is playing the Summoning Spheres that aggressively. I assume just to be mana efficient, and to get the cards out. But I think there's more utility to maybe holding them in his hand. 4 mana for a King Arthur, which is just like an above rate costed card. You're paying 4 for a 5 power, and also has an ability which may or may not be relevant for you. 4 mana for an Arc Lightning. He's casting it onto the home site there. He's casting it as a spirit with the Animist ability. So, Summoning Sphere, not Evil Presence, so it doesn't give the spirit charge. But it does put him into a good position to attack in on the next turn here. Stu, unfortunately, has the answer to that. I think he might have just top-decked that Apply Alkalist. And that is going to target the Ghost Town and kill the Arc Lightning, remove both of those auras which share that site, and then attacking him with King Arthur for 5 points of damage. Steve very much in trouble here. He blew out his hands early, and he's dangerously close to top decking here. He's got a Grim Reaper and a Kiss of Death. So definitely play out the Grim Reaper. Probably play it onto the site with King Arthur, just so it threatens to be able to block King Arthur. I mean, he could also play it onto the Mountain Pass, just because if Stu decides to attack with King Arthur into the Mountain Pass, then the Grim Reaper suddenly can't get to it. That would probably be the stronger play there. Unfortunately, it leaves Steve open to take another 5 points of damage. There's not a perfect solution here for him with the way that the sites have been played out. Just because if he plays the Grim Reaper onto the Mountain Pass, then the King Arthur can't attack into the Mountain Pass, but there is another site to the right here that King Arthur can attack into, and the Grim Reaper can't defend from that far away. Steve playing the Grim Reaper on the same site as the King Arthur, which honestly that might be the best possible solution for him, even though it's not a perfect solution, just because like I said, King Arthur, if Stu wants to on this turn, it can just attack into the Mountain Pass, and then suddenly the Mountain Pass is working for Stu, not Steve, because Steve would be unable to get at King Arthur, at least with that Grim Reaper. Stu also getting out a Sinkhole here just gives him more utility as well to just destroy the mountain pass if he needs to get around navigating through that site. So Stu is thinking about what he wants to do here. He has a lot of mana. He's got 5 mana for his turn. He's got King Arthur on the board, which is pretty scary. And like I said, if he wants to, he can attack him with King Arthur and push 5 more points of damage. He's paying 1 with the discount from town to play the Sentry Fee, targeting the Bottomless Pit to disable his own Bottomless Pit. So there's the disable token, just so they don't lose track of that. And then with the remaining 4 mana, he's playing a Shackled Demon for 4. So I think he wanted to play that. He wanted to disable the Bottomless Pit so he could get good placement on the Shackled Demon. And I think that the Shackled Demon means to attack in on his next turn into the Mountain Pass, unless Steve can take care of it. Steve has a Kiss of Death, which he could make use of here. You go Wuthering Heights. I would have just played the Wuthering Heights back. I think I wouldn't give Stu the option to potentially target it with the Sinkhole. And Wuthering Heights on your back row, it lets you cast out your minions a little safer and still get them forward into a attack position. So Steve going ahead and using his Kiss of Death to remove King Arthur. And then attacking Centerfee with the Grim Reaper. Unfortunately, I think Steve was thinking that if he kills the Centerfee, Bottomless Pit will no longer be disabled and the Shackled Demon would die. Unfortunately, Bottomless Pit, its effect only triggers upon a minion entering it. So because the Shackled Demon already exists on the site, it is not going to die. So that was Steve's turn here. Passing back to Stu. Stu, he's still fishing out the Centerfees from the Grim Reaper. So the Grim Reaper will banish like every copy of the thing that it kills. Stu on this turn here, he's going to sacrifice tapping for a site or playing a site, and I assume what he's going to do is tap to re-enable the demon, and then walk forward and attack Mountain Pass for 5 points of damage. Yeah, so he's tapping to liberate the demon, and then swinging in for 5 onto Mountain Pass. Again, Mountain Pass now like not working for Steve in the way that he wants. Potentially making it more difficult for Steve to get to the Shackled Demon and interact with it. Stu also playing a Book of the Dead on his turn there with his 5 mana and passing turn back here. Book of the Dead it feels pretty scary, especially since he has that King Arthur in his cemetery. So Steve is just looking like a solid train of 5 power bodies just coming at him at this point, probably, and unfortunately, like he's just kind of he's run out of gas in his hands here. He's got looks like a Witching Hour and All Mortals Gone both of which will not help him terribly. He can cast the All Mortals Gone as a spirit, which is what he's doing. He is choosing to play it on Wuthering Heights and pushing it forward. I think he should have played that somewhere else, in my opinion. Just because Wuthering Heights, Bottomless Pit is now activated again, and the spirit does not have Airborne, so it's not going to be able to attack into Bottomless Pit. And Stu could potentially have the option to activate the Sinkhole and destroy it. And then Steve would no longer have a site to attack into at that point. Shackle Demon attacking him for 5 more points of damage. I don't know if even like Stu even necessarily needed to move it off of the mountain pass. I think maybe it would have been a slightly stronger play just to leave it there, just to keep Mountain Pass locked down. Steve, unfortunately, getting an Evil Presence, unfortunately, forgetting that it's an aura, not a magic, which is going to be problematic. It's not going to give him the blockers he needs to trade with the demon, but he can cast Evil Presence and Witching Hour as a spirit, give it charge, attack in, and trade with King Arthur, which is what he's going to do there. And then I believe that Evil Presence should have bounced back to hand. So Stu, starting his turn here, tapping for another site, brings him to 6 mana in his mana pool for the turn. The Shackle Demon should untap, but that's going to take Steve to door. Steve drawing a zap. No, just passing turn, or just conceding at that point. He doesn't have a way to respond to the threats on the board. Zap is an interesting main deck inclusion for Steve. I think what he's trying to do is play no toolbox. We're moving on to the second game here. Same decks. They're just getting another rep in. No first turn plays for either of them here. Turn 2 with Steve with a Spore Spout. See if he has a play with it. Playing a cast into exile as a 2-power spirit to fly it, to summon it onto Stu's back row. Seems like a good play there, especially because his turn 1 site was a Wizard's Den. So if he can get an attack in onto the Wizard's Den, he could force a discard. Stu with the answer, getting a town out for his turn 2 site. Kobold to strike the exile, the 2-power spirit at end of turn. Steve's third site here is that a watchtower? It looks like a watchtower. Brings him to 3 mana, in his mana pool. He has a Kiss of Death in his hand. He has an All Mortals Gone. Yeah, he's gonna cast that as a 3-power spirit. And then pass turn. It's a little risky putting it in the summoning the spirit into the center there, just with the kobold. All Stu needs to do is get 1 point of damage onto all mortals gone spirit, and then the kobold would just would be able to just strike it and finish it off at end of turn. He has 3 mana in his mana pool. Let's see what we're gonna do with that. 3 mana for an invigorate to invigorate the kobold into a 5 power minion that will attack and kill the spirit, and then end of turn it will strike. The kobolds strike for their power. Their power at end of turn is still going to be 5, and it's going to deal 5 points of damage to the Animist, which it is now adjacent to. Steve tapping for a 4th sight here. I think he's drawing. He's drawing sights because he wants to get out that vampire in his hand. So he needs 5. He needs 5 mana to do it. And I think maybe off chance he drew a sight, maybe he draws into a tower, and he would have been able to play the vampire on this turn. But instead, all he can do is play out an evil presence and pass turn there. I think he has a Kiss of Death and the vampire in his hand, and that's it. So Stu is attacking with the kobold for another 2 points of damage. Playing a slumbering giantess. And then end of turn the kobolds will strike the giantess, waking it up. Steve, yeah, I think he drew that sight. Like I said, I think he was trying to get the 5. Trying to get the 5 to play that vampire. So he's going to play out the sight here. He's going to play out the sight to get the vampire out. And then it's just a question of where the vampire is going to be. Spore Spouts for the sight. Doesn't do him any good with the Genesis, but the vampire is going to place it to the right there, which I'm not sure about that placement. I mean, Stu, Stu has some options here. He could just use the kobold to attack into the watchtower, which would be out of range to defend with the vampire. And then he could attack in with the giantess, which the vampire could defend. The vampire would just die. It would heal before it dies, so it would heal 4 points. So at least that's something. I think that feels bad to have to sacrifice the vampire to the giantess. I think I would have just risked it and played the vampire on the home site to give me a range of motion to allow me to defend the kobold no matter where it wanted to go. So playing a warhorse out, carrying the giantess with the warhorse, and then attacking in. So attacking with the kobolds for 2, the warhorse for 2, the giantess for 4 or 5, and then end of turn striking the avatar for 2 points from the kobold. So a huge blowout turn for Stu there. We're looking at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 11 points that turn. Also getting that Hillock Basilisk out that turn, disabling the vampire. At this point, Stu just decides to concede. Steve concedes. Stu had that game locked down at that point. Just an incredible blowout turn there, disabling the vampire, attacking him for 11 points with a kobold, putting him on door, or putting him close to door. So those were just a couple quick games, and we'll catch you in the next one.